Good afternoon, Eben. Thank you very much and welcome once again here to the Eastern Cape. That's a good advice that you are giving, that people shouldn't take pictures of themselves voting, otherwise they will going to land in prison. I've gone myself this afternoon, did my citizen job and voted. I've got my mark and I got a cup of coffee for that. I didn't take a picture of myself, so that's a good advice. Well, the Eastern Cape is rich in heritage in terms of liberation struggle. Some call it the home of legends. That's because the stalwarts like Tambo and Nelson Mandela called this province home. Earlier today, the 81-year-old sister of the late ANC President Tambo voted in her home village. She shrugged off a bout of flu to go and make her cross. She told our reporter Kaya Gobo that democracy lay close to her heart because of the sacrifices her brother made.
Very important to me and to South Africa. OR left the country for the sake of our own people. If OR didn't leave the country for the sake of his own people, he wouldn't be voting here.
Another rich area with history is the Krisani municipality. Now we're going to cross quickly to our reporter there, Unati Pingose, to give us an update in terms of how things are shaping up at that side of our province. Good afternoon, Unati. How is voting proceeding that side?
Well, Tammy, welcome back to Queenstown. What I can tell you is that voting is continuing quite smoothly, not just in this voting station that I'm in at the moment. We've traveled to quite a number of voting stations across this town and to some neighboring rural areas, and you can confirm to you that everything is running smoothly. No major incidents have been reported. The temperature has improved quite significantly, from the freezing temperatures that we have experienced as we came in here early in the morning. But ironically, it was at that time that a lot of people were in here forming queues and ready to cast their votes. At around 10 o'clock in the morning, we've had a bit of a lull, but the numbers are beginning to pick up a bit at the moment. And one of the things that we were moaning about earlier on was the scarcity of young people at the voting station here. However, as the numbers are beginning to pick up now, we've seen quite a number of them, and I have them. 3 of them to be exact. One of them is a first-time voter, and we will be speaking to them right now. Sisom, good morning and good afternoon rather, and welcome to this broadcast. Tell me, how does it feel to cast your vote for the very first time?
Oh, but it feels so good, and I'm so excited because I always wanted to do this because I knew that one vote will make the difference.
Wonderful. Tell us, what do you want from your vote? I'm sure you did not just cast your vote for nothing.
Improvement for scholarships and bursaries, and also employment.
So employment and bursaries is what you'll be looking for. Yeah. All right, let's move over to this lady right here. Ma'am, tell me, how do you feel having casted your vote already?
I feel excited because my vote means everything goes well to me. And my vote, I want to be successful because we are suffered in school and we want jobs. And when I'm graduate, we want jobs. And we suffered at school because we don't have some res. So we go around the villages and go to borders, and then there is a crime. So if we had a res, maybe we feel safe.
Wonderful. Let's move over to the other girl as well, who's also a first-time voter. Ma'am, good morning, good afternoon rather, and tell me, how does it feel?
Afternoon, say I feel so excited, and I think my vote it will make a big difference, and I'm very excited, and I'll keep on voting. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The ladies, the young voters, the youth here, they've made it very clear that their vote is not just a blank check. They want services from them. And with that, let's head back to East London.
Thank you very much, Unati Pingosa, our reporter there in the Chris Hani municipality in the city or the town of Queenstown. Now, here's another interesting story that we picked up little earlier on. The DA leader, Helen Zille, after voting in Cape Town this morning, flew to Port Elizabeth here in the Eastern Cape in an area called Warmer Township. Now, that created some confusion where it was alleged by ANC party agents that she had overstepped the polling station's parameters. Now, police were called in and the IC officials also stepped in, and they resolved that she did not contravene any election rules, which is quite very interesting. Now, we're going to discuss this with my resident analyst here, Jolene Steyn-Kotze, who joins me now on the set. Jolene, Zille coming to the Eastern Cape, particularly in the Nelson Mandela Metro. Now, that's a very hotly contested area for some time now, particularly between the DA and the ANC. What could this mean?
Well, the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro has been a particularly interesting dynamic in terms of, how the political landscape can change. The ANC came in with around 69.28% of the vote in 2004, and of course by 2011, actual votes cast for the ANC had dropped to around 50-odd%. And of course the DA has filled that gap. It's a very, very symbolic victory, if one can call it that, right in the middle of the heartland of the ANC. Should the ANC lose the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, it will be left with the proverbial, egg on the face, if one can put it that way.
Right. But then how does that contribute? Because considering that this is not the local municipality elections or the local government elections, these are provincial elections, and how does that contribute to the provincial vote? I mean, does it stand a chance, the DA, that is?
Well, again, one has to look at it broadly. The DA had managed to build a lot of momentum with the 2011 local government election. So what would be interesting to see in the numbers, bearing in mind it is a provincial vote cast, will that momentum, can that be sustained, even though this is now a national election and not necessarily a local government
Now, you
election?
remember that in the elections, in the 2009 elections, the DA lost the status of being the opposition party in the Eastern Cape, and COPE came in at that point. Now, with COPE now being in the doldrums, suddenly, does that give the DA a chance perhaps to come back to be the official opposition in the Eastern Cape, considering that there's an EFF now coming, that's just starts coming in the political
Yeah, one
scene?
has to be cognizant as well of the new role, the newcomers, if one can call it that, Ahang, the EFF, and hence the point, it will be interesting to see whether that momentum can be sustained now with the introduction of the new actors. COPE dropped from 17% down to around 4.9 in 2011. It is feasible to maybe say, okay, their support might not be that great again in 2014. Where will those voters go? Will they? It's not to say they will necessarily go for the DA, but might in fact start adding to support levels for the EFF as well as Ahang. So it's an interesting space to watch.
Right. That's our resident analyst here at the IEC Centre in the Eastern Cape in the city of East London. Let's take it back now to Pretoria.
Well, thank you so much to our team in East London.